All right, you're going to be really excited because I'm going to be short, fast, and powerful. Okay? Just the way you want it. Once in a while, history will give you an opportunity to stand up. And you get a choice whether you will bow or whether you will stand. And unfortunately, it has fallen on this generation to be a generation that will stand. And it'll be up to us. It's going to be up to us to say, we will not bow. There were 3 Hebrew boys way back in the day, and they were told to bow to the idols. What are today's idols? That we have to be all divided over our race, over our religion, over our gender. If you dare say that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, then you're in big trouble. Just ask me. If you talk the truth, you will lose your job. So I want to tell you something. Some of you don't even want to be seen on camera today because you know your boss might check in and see what all the truth tellers, what you believe in, are talking about. Well, I'm going to speak for you. And the people that have been up are going to speak for you. But if you are daring enough to be part of the crowd that is willing to stand and not bow, then we are going to do this together. And the more of us there are, the more powerful we will become. And they won't be able to do anything. So on the way here, you might know I'm from BC. You got any water there, pal? I'm about to faint. All right. Did anyone know it was going to be this hot in Ottawa today? I talked to God. I said, God, we need it to be cool. He said, Laura-Lynn, I'm too hot on fire. It's going to be a hot one today. So here's what happened. I went to the plane. As I was going through security, a lady told me, you got to wear a mask. I said, I can't wear a mask. I have a medical exemption. She looked at me and she thought I looked pretty healthy. And I could tell she didn't believe me, but you know what? She said, I'll go get my supervisor. I said, go ahead. She went, she got her supervisor, and he came over and he said, ma'am, you got to wear a mask. I said, I got a medical exemption. And he goes, okay, go through. So then I got all the way through security. I got up to the gate, and the woman said, ma'am, I was the only one not wearing a mask. And she said, you got to wear a mask. I said, no, ma'am, I have a medical exemption. And she said, well, if you don't wear a mask, you're not going to be able to get on this flight. And I said, well, I don't have a mask. So she says, well, I got one right here. I said, all right, thank you. I put it in my purse. And I got on the plane. And I never wore that mask through the whole thing. And there was one lady on the plane. And she was one of the sheeples wearing a mask. And she said, excuse me, do you have a mask? I said, yes, I do. I have a medical exemption. It's called my immunity system, and I will not compromise it. So I want to say something, that when George Floyd passed away, and he was murdered in front of all of us, I was on my living room couch and I cried for that man. I was a small white child and I was born in Uganda, East Africa. And the African people of any color are my people. And I live in Canada and I don't see color, I see character. If you're a murderer, you go to jail. All right? If you're our last guest that was speaking, you don't go to jail, Sandra Solomon. You're one of the good guys. But you know what we have? We have upside down reality right now where the good guys in Canada get arrested at protests when there is Antifa there and Black Lives Matters. And you see, don't talk to me about being racist because I am black inside. I'm sorry, I was born in Uganda. And whenever I see people, I'm going down, yeah, brother, you're my brother right there, right? That's cool, yeah. You're my brother. And whenever I make a fool of myself, I'm walking down the causeway of airports across North America. When I see black people, I'm always like this, hi, hi. And they look at me like, who is the nut job blonde smiling at us? So I went down in Vancouver, British Columbia to an organized event for George Floyd. There was 3,000 people in the middle of Vancouver. Now, I want you to know something. I can barely get 100 people out to fight for freedom right now, and that's our problem. We're going to have to start fighting and standing and marching and doing and writing. All of a sudden, I go down. There's 3,000 of Black Lives Matters and Antifa gathered. And so I went through the crowd. I tried to get a little bit of some conversations. The following week, we were doing an organization, a rally just like this. And I'm sorry to tell you, but Antifa showed up, and some of the kids from Black Lives Matters, and I want to tell you they're like 14, super cute, and really foul mouths. And so those little kids, they called me Wilma Flintstone white privilege. And I was offended because I want to be the other one, Rubble. What's her name? Betty Rubble. She's way cuter, right? If you're going to call me white privilege, anything from Flintstones, I am Betty, not Wilma, okay? And redheads matter, exactly. And so I've decided something, that I'm going to stand and I'm going to fight. And you know what? It kind of hurt my feelings. I had some people of different color. They said to me, there's no such thing as racism against white people. Well, I grew up in Africa. I was called Muzungu girl in Uganda. Why? Because I was the only white girl in the crowd. I went up to the high Arctic. I was amongst the Inuit kids. They didn't like me. That might surprise you, or not. And they would beat me up and they'd chase me home because I was white. So don't talk to me about racism. Talk to me about character. Talk to me about how we stand for integrity and for our country and for our nation. You talk to me about that, because I don't see color. And so it was pretty painful. A couple of the little Black Lives Matters kids, they were all shouting about, trans lives. You know, when my kids were 13, I was looking at them like they were playing Xbox, and they weren't shouting about save the trans lives. And I got a little clue about who's behind all of this. Soros, Bill Gates, Trudeau, all of them putting their stuff together. And then, have y'all heard about hydroxychloroquine and zinc? All right, you're not fooled, right, by MSM. They're trying to tell you that 67-cent pill, it's not going to work. It's going to kill people. So here's a little secret. I was diagnosed with lupus in 2006. I've been on hydroxychloroquine, that miracle drug, for 14 years. Don't tell me that drug is dangerous. I've been taking 2 of them a day. It has saved my life. It is not dangerous. And all of the things that are coming out to say it's dangerous, now the people that did that study, you can't find them. They had to shut down their business. And here's the problem. Do you think that Bill Gates, Trudeau, who invest in vaccinations, and apparently 37 million syringes, are y'all having one of those vaccinations? No! He can take them all. Shove him up his yes ma'am. My dad's watching, so I try not to swear.
Tell him how you feel.
Yeah. So I'm going to end on this. It's a scam. You see, if they can give us a vaccination that's going to make the big elites wealthy and possibly have something in it that can hurt us, like it's hurt the kids in other places in the world, like Africa. Okay, Bill Gates isn't allowed in some parts in the world because they know this man he's a depopulator. Well, we don't want to be depopulated by you, Mr. Bill Gates. We want to live, let live, procreate, have more children, a lot of sex. You know what I mean? It needs to be going on. I'm sorry, Dad. Okay.
How dare you?
He doesn't think I do that.
Now he knows.
He's a pastor. Yeah.
Poor minister.
I have to be careful, you know, sometimes I let stuff out. Okay, so if they can't get rich on us with the syringes and a 67-cent pill, hydroxychloroquine with zinc, do you want to know how it works? I just need to tell you this because they want to send a second wave. What you do is you find a doctor that will give you hydroxychloroquine. We have fraudulent medical system here because Dr. Teresa Tam, who is not a real doctor, okay, and that's why she doesn't know what she's talking about. Dr. Teresa Tam, she has her doctorate or whatever. She's not a doctor. She doesn't know. So wear a mask, don't wear a mask, do this, close the borders, open the borders. You know, like my head's spinning, all right, from the council that we have gotten from our leaders. But I want to tell you, I think they do have a planned second wave. I resist it. I'm so hoping I already have COVID. You know, it's 99.76% recovery, right? Get it now before it gets better. I mean, worse. Get it now. Get the immune system in you. I'm like, have you ever had COVID? I've only met one person who's had. How many of you guys met how many of your friends have had COVID?
Not one.
One lady? 3 people had it. Did they die? Of course not. Okay, don't go near her. All right. So, I'm just kidding. I love you. Just kidding. I'm coming straight for you after this. All right?